Hello everyone, this is Nicole Steele. I'm the owner and creator of The Joyful Stamper, and I'm also an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. This video today, I'm making it to show you how to use the new standard Stampin' Up! Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. It's a die cutting and embossing machine. It's available September 1st, 2020 to everybody. I got mine this week. Demonstrators were able to order one early, and I thought a video would be helpful. I have customers that are new to die cutting and embossing and don't own a machine, and so a video I think is the best way to learn exactly how to use this. So you will see that it's a sleek white design. So if you have a color scheme going in your craft room, Stampin' Up! Designed it so it would match everything. Very neutral, gray handles. When you can see that there's rubber feet on the bottom, so it is very stable and very sturdy. It isn't going to slip at all. When you get your machine, the handle is not going to be attached. It's a very simple matter. There is a screw and there is a little wrench that is given to you. You just pop the screw with the washer right down into this handle, use the Allen wrench to twist it in, and then this little gray cap just pops right in there. That's it, and your handle is ready to go. Now, when you use the machine, you'll notice that it folds up, so it doesn't take up a large footprint on your table or your desk or wherever else you're keeping this. To open it, there's these little notches right here so that it's easy for you to grab them and just pull the platforms down. Now, the platforms are nice and wide. They're 6 inches wide, and they sit down on your surface, so it's not going to rock. You can see it's quite steady, quite stable and strong. It feels solid. I like the feel of this construction. Everything inside this machine is made of metal and steel too, so it is very durable and it's built to last. No plastic pieces to crack, warp, or break on you. Now, also included with the standard Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine are the plates that you'll need to use the machine for embossing and die cutting. The beauty of these plates is they are numbered. Makes it super easy. These two plates also have the sandwiches to show you what order the plates go in, depending on what you're doing. Are you embossing? Are you die cutting? Are you using a 3D embossing folder, which is thicker? The instructions are all right here on the base plate for you, so you don't have to try to remember anything. You don't have to write anything down or take notes. So let's go through and I'll show you how to use them. This is your base plate. It's the thickest plate and it's number 1. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to die cut using our thin dies. So this stack right here, we call it a sandwich in the crafting world. So what we're going to do to die cut with our thin dies is we're going to first have plate number 1, which is this one here. Then we're going to have plate number 2, which is this one here, that's next on it. Then next up, you'll see plate number 3. Plate number 3 is going to be the next part of our sandwich, and it's also going to be the top part of our sandwich. So we'll lay this down, and you'll see the same instructions are printed on this plate too. So we have plate number 1, we have plate number 2. Now we're going to put down the clear plate number 3 for die cutting, and you'll notice the plate does get marked up when you die cut. It's okay. They're built to last. You're going to be using this a lot, and if it does eventually crack, no worries. There's replacement plates available for these with Stampin' Up! In my store, shopwithnicole.stampinup.net. So we have 1, 2, 3. We're going to put down our piece of cardstock. This is Petal Pink, and I'm going to, just for demonstration purposes, use the new Snowflake Splendor dies, and I'm going to use this one right here, and just lay that on your cut side down. You'll see that there's a one side of the die that has a cutting blade on it, and the other one is smooth. The other side is smooth. You want the one with the blade, the cut side, you want it to face down on your cardstock. And then you're going to put the second of plate number 3 on top. And then just crank the handle to turn it through. It'll go through very easily. No struggles on your part. You don't have to force it through, and you shouldn't force it through. Now you remove the plate, remove the cardstock, and you'll see that you're left with your die. Okay. So that is the first sandwich. That's how you use this machine when you're going to die cut. Now let's go to the second one. The second one is we're going to use this with a standard embossing folder. Now let me show you the difference. The standard embossing folder is the one on the right. The 3D embossing folder is the one on the left. Standard embossing folders are thinner than 3D embossing folders. Therefore, that's why you have a different sandwich. So this is a new snowflake embossing folder in the Holiday Mini catalog. So to emboss with a standard or thinner embossing folder, we're going to follow this sandwich right here. So our first plate is going to be this one, plate number 1. Our next plate is going to be a clear plate number 3, followed by our embossing folder, which has our cardstock inside of it, and then we're going to top it with the second clear plate number 3. Okay, so base plate number 1 goes first, then clear plate 3, then we have our embossing folder, and I'm going to put a piece of Whisper White cardstock in there. Put it inside the standard embossing folder. Now your embossing folder, you want to run it through your machine with the closed side going first. So that would be this one right here. This closed side is going to go through the machine first. It puts less pressure on the embossing folder. And then we're going to put the second plate number 3 on top and run it through. Out, take your cardstock out, and you can see that embossing. Very nice. Okay, now the next sandwich we're going to try is we're going to use it with the 3D embossing folder, and that's the thicker embossing folder. Now for this one, you need this plate number 1. You're going to have your 3D embossing folder with your cardstock inside of it. And then on top, you are going to put this plate number 4 right there. Okay? You don't need as thick of a sandwich with the 3D embossing folders simply because the folder itself is thicker. Now here's a tip for when you're using them. When you use the 3D embossing folder, if you want to get a super deep impression, take a Stampin' Spritzer filled with water and just lightly spray your cardstock. That'll get it damp so that it softens the cardstock fibers and it'll impress the paper more deeply. This is the Ornate Garden 3D floral embossing folder that I'm using. So base plate 1, my 3D embossing folder with my cardstock in there, and then plate number 4 goes on top. We're going to run it through. And you'll see, look at that. Do you see the difference in the deepness of the impression? Very, very visible. Now I tried the die cutting machine with a couple other materials too, because in our holiday catalog we have velvet paper and we have felt. And I'm going to show you that you can cut with the red velvet paper. You can die cut it using just the regular die cutting sandwich. I used these poinsettia dies. They die cut and they emboss. And I used them with the red velvet paper. I saw another demonstrator do this, Susan Lavasser of Wild Nola Creations. It was stunning and I had to try it. So do you see that? You can see the embossing in there. So yes, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine will die cut and emboss the red velvet paper. No troubles at all. The sandwich that you use for it is the same sandwich that you use when you're die cutting with your thin dies. You don't have to do anything different when you're using the velvet paper. So then I also tried it with the felt pack that is in the Holiday Mini. And it die cut, I used a snowflake die, and it die cut the felt just fine. And I used the sandwich for the thin dies, the one I just showed you. Now, what I did find out, it die cut the felt with these open spaced snowflake dies. It did not die cut it with these more detailed snowflake dies. You can use this on cardstock for sure, no problem. But with the felt, it tore the felt and did not get a good impression. So using the solid images, outline images dies work just great on the felt, not so much the detailed ones. So I thought you'd be interested in seeing that. So felt, red velvet paper, and regular cardstock. And you can also use our glitter paper on here too, of course, which we've had glitter paper for a while. So, okay, so that is the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine from Stampin' Up. It'll be available September 1st, 2020 in my online store, shopwithnicole.stampinup.net. If you want to get one now in August of 2020, you are able to put them in your starter kit. So if you join my team of Joyful Stampers, you can add this to your starter kit, and it would only be $99 plus tax with free shipping. So, and remember, it comes with the plates too that I just showed you, so you'll be ready to go. If you have any questions, just let me know. You can hop over to my blog, and there's a contact form there. And be sure to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube so that you can catch all of my videos. All right, thank you so much. Bye.